Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Gold Nugget Gang. As you can see, we've changed our location again. We are today at our guest location. So their humble office abode.
Too soft a word.
It is.
If you want to see, I guess it's a very nice office space. Let's put it that way. If anyone wants to come and visit our guests, we'll have details here. But I'll get to it. So today we have Mango over here. He is representing TCGUnite, and we've been wanting to talk about their application and their new solution that they're trying to launch. No sales pitch. But at least we're sharing a little bit more about their platform as well, right? So maybe Mango, why don't you just introduce a little bit about yourself and what TCGUnite is, right? Best, comes from your mouth in terms of what the platform is about and what you do with TCGUnite.
Yeah, okay, cool. So first of all, thank you, Gold Nugget Gang. So today I'm here with Santosh, Nicholas, and Javier. I hope this is gonna be a fun evening, right?
For sure.
Every time it's fun one.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for coming all the way to our humble place to
I'm in Singapore, not that far.
Right, so I think Nicholas just mentioned just now that we TCGUnite is a new and upcoming platform for TCG. So our mission here actually first and foremost is to breach international borders in terms of trading cards. Because that for trading cards actually itself, US is a big market, Japan itself is a big market, but most of the times they are just very domestic markets itself, right? It's very hard to cross over. And when you talk about pricing of certain cards, right? A Japanese card is priced differently in different countries, different regions, right? Yeah, these are the kind of problems that we have seen, and then we are trying to we're on a mission to solve this, right? To facilitate cross-border trading, and as well as just to create a community that's fun. It's not actually just about the marketplace. Actually, the marketplace is just one of our app's main feature. The main feature is actually collection. So you can track a collection, how much your collection has grown, how many cards you have collected, then marketplace, then subsequently to build a community, we also have actually monthly giveaway. So we're giving away free stuff. Yeah. So I mean our tagline is collect, play, unite. So collect as a collector, play, as a player. We'll be having more features that support, playing of TCG and further the spirit of TCG itself. And then unite is to create a community.
Okay, so you spoke a little bit about the application. I think one of the things that maybe listeners also would like to know is that you guys will have a launch party coming up soon. We're going to share a bit about that also.
Yes, so we have a launch party. We call it our product launch. So it's like a grand launch party sort of. Then we'll have a card show ongoing as well. So actually it's like a hybrid event. So in Singapore Center. So on the 30th of August on Saturday morning. So we'll be having Actually, I'll be on stage doing a presentation, like a TED Talk kind of thing, That's for invited guests and VIPs like yourselves, right? I've already invited you. I'm not sure whether Nicholas has circulated the invitation. Right?
We have, yes.
Yeah, so we will be going through, what we have gone through this past year to build this whole application, and then what are the exciting features coming out, and also to talk about, future plans and stuff like that as well, just to, give everyone a fun time, whether you're seasoned TCG collector or just new to the hobby. Then outside of the auditorium, we have a trade show that's going on, which I believe Gold Nugget Gang is taking part in. So this will be a little different from the usual trade shows that you have been to, because what we're trying to do is to power all the transactions through our app itself.
No cash transactions.
Yeah, because it's the showcase, the launch of our app, so no cash transaction. And then I think what will be really interesting that people will actually want to know is that actually today we just finalized that for whether you're coming to the event to buy and collect your cards on the spot, or whether you're just someone, looking at the shops participating in the event, we are giving every user $16 worth of free vouchers to just spend on TCG cards.
Oh,
yeah.
Can buy free stuff, huh?
Yeah, totally.
Stuff and get $16 off.
Yeah. You can. Technically, you can. Yeah.
Don't do that.
I won't do that.
You can buy stuff from other vendors that you see that you like.
Use CDC voucher to buy something and then I sell myself.
Exactly. That was
Give
what.
ideas.
Wait. That was what was happening in the previous trade show, no?
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, the trade show at the
Lexicon.
Taste Orchard.
Lexicon. Yeah, I mean, people was using the CDC voucher to buy stuff.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
It's good, but to buy your
Other
own stuff.
side.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Because you were opposite me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other side. They were all selling music. They all can buy.
Sorry, our
using
stores,
CDC.
our stores
Oh.
are not CDC.
Mine also is not.
Yeah. So also TCGUnite cannot use CD.
Yeah, right.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay lah. Until government changes.
Yeah.
But actually today's episode is quite aligned with what you're talking about because you brought up this idea of Japan market, US market, Singapore market,
Carousel market.
carousel market. There has been a lot of recent rumblings, I would say, in our local
Community
maybe
lah.
community. There's, for example, that we've got a Facebook group where people will feedback on certain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say whether somebody is right or wrong, but feedback on certain engagements that they've had that maybe they're not super pleased with. And then there's one that happened, I think, a while back at one of the trade shows. There was a vendor and then a customer. There was an interaction. All right. The summary of it is that the vendor priced an item based off UUT's pricing.
Okay.
The client or the person that bought it was looking at price charting, TCG player. So there's two very clear, I guess, international stages, right? If you think about it, the Japan and then the US market. Where do you see, maybe yourselves as a platform, or how do you think that can be solved, with some of the things that you guys are trying to do? Or is there even a solution, long term? Yeah.
Right. I mean, for now, the prices, like suggested prices for certain cards on our app itself, we are taking them from multiple sources. And then, we try to, come to, how do I put it, it's sort of like a moving average and aggregate to say, based on maybe the past few pieces that have been sold recently for this certain card, then this is like the average price of kind of thing, right? So for us, we try to do that, but I would definitely still say, a lot of the cards, they are priced this way. Most of them would come from, Western sources like, US and kind of thing, right? And then definitely like what you're talking about, the customer wanted price from UUT, then definitely I would assume that that's like a Japanese card, right?
Yeah.
Right, because most of the time, a lot of people tell me in Singapore, it's like, for Japanese cards, we just follow UUT, that's the standard.
Yeah.
But actually, UUT is, I wouldn't say it's like, the most accurate, because sometimes even, for myself, I also do a bit of like, the pricing, and then, the data of the cards is also done by myself. So sometimes you see that, actually, it feels very weird. Like some cards is like, almost never updated. Maybe because it's no longer as transacted as much in that region, in Japan itself. Yeah. So honestly, this kind of thing, I think, is very controversial because it can be self-serving, right? If you're a buyer, you will want to put on an app and tell me, this is the price because, this is cheaper than other sources. I want to buy at this price. But if you're a seller, you will show me another place that, I follow, throw and tote, maybe because it's because it's more expensive there.
But I think that the platforms are all not the same, right? If you think about it, like throw and tote is buying and then they're selling.
Correct.
UUT is pretty much the same thing. They are a store, they are buying and then they are reselling.
Correct.
But price charting is based on general crowd transactions.
Or transactions
Correct.
using
So-
eBay and
Correct.
So if I think as a buyer and seller, you're allowed to choose your own pricing.
Correct.
You're buying. If you're buying, obviously you always want to get the best deal.
Right,
That
right.
can't change.
Yeah.
So the your own platform, right? For the pricing, if you're gonna take an average, is there some way you're going to like score across a few gold standard webs or rather like platforms that already been used very frequently?
Actually, as of now, I would say that most of our prices come from price charting and eBay. In fact, yeah, because we follow the prices as closely as possible that's listed on there. And then for us, I mean, the ultimate aim of having a marketplace actually is not to say I want to transact or so many cards in the sense that it directly relates to revenue. actually it's more in the sense that, we hope to see more cards transacted on our platform so that these prices will become more apparent in our region, because then I can tell people these are the cards. Look, it's been last sold on our platform.
right.
Then it is a bit more accurate, because you go to the trade show, you can just tell people, I want to follow this, I want to follow that.
Right.
What you say.
So you're getting a large data set in.
Yeah,
for
I mean
you to-
that's our aim in the long
That's a
term.
good idea. So I think it's very nice to have our own local market pricing, which everybody will standardize a gold standard, right? Because price charting is a very common. For me as a collector, I use price charting to record what I have.
Right.
But although the prices there sometimes are not most updated,
Right,
so
right.
I can't really use that as a selling price.
Correct.
So I will use technically a 130 point.
Yeah,
Calculate
130
the
point,
last
yes.
sold, maybe the last 5 take and divide, and then I'll put a pricing plus 20% if I want to profit from there.
Right.
Yeah. So if the platform is going to definitely combine this, it's a dream to use this app itself.
And then that comes to the point where the traditional people are going to use what, some people will just, I only use 130 point. I only use eBay, but 130 point and eBay is the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just a
Right.
search engine.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then some people say price charting, I'm going to use price charting, but if you see price charting also is eBay.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it is.
So the thing is, it's more to the educating of people where most of these places that we just mentioned is all taking the data from the one source, which is eBay transactions.
So your platform will actually cover both raw and graded slabs?
Yes, we do.
Ah.
And does your app also just not only doing just Pokemon, right? I mean,
Actually, what our app is doing differently from, I would say, a lot of other places out there is that actually we have a handcrafted database whereby, we really handcraft this database whereby each and every card is stored in our database. And when you lease a card, when you collect a card, right, it's linked to the database to make sure that, for example, you are linking OPO1, right? There's a specific card that's actually linked to our database, right? In terms of whether you're a seller, you're a collector, you know that this is the specific card. So it makes it easier to search for and, track your collection as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are only supporting Pokemon, One Piece, and Digimon as of now in our handcrafted database, but we are working hard at the moment to add on a lot of other sets like Union Arena. I think the next one will be also Magic.
Okay.
So we actually, other than these standard cards, I mean, we also allow like custom listings and stuff like that as of now.
Okay.
Custom listing is good. Allow you to input new cards. You get new databases of new cards though.
To a certain extent, I would say, because ultimately we wouldn't want it to be too freeform in the sense that you want to list a Pikachu card, but then the picture is actually a Charizard. Just like sometimes on eBay you want to look for Pikachu, right? I mean, eBay is a big place. You might be searching into like plushies and stuff.
Right,
For us, we are really focused on just cards, right? And then it's linked to the database. Pikachu, there's so many different cards.
So what I meant was like adding a new card into the list that maybe is not on not your database, right? So you cannot find. I'm pretty sure
if it's some like very rare card. And,
with a unique name.
Right.
Yeah. I always thought that if there's an additional feature that could be used to export the list for eventual submission to PSA, or to grading company, where it's already by standard of their listing, it matches you ease all us customers, that we're ready to use your platform to get the card, and then we can submit for PSA grading ourselves or through a middle person, and then we get back, so it's
actually we're working on that. I mean, we are planning something, like that. But I mean, like how long it would take.
Don't expose his secret.
Sorry.
Don't expose.
Right.
Yeah. No, let them launch first. After 1 year, then we can sort of implement the PSA. Don't expose all their trade secrets. They want to launch.
Sure.
Slowly.
One step at a time, right? I mean, one feature, but
yeah, exactly. So actually, the quite interesting thing is, and it was something that really only happened this year, because trade shows were something that didn't really happen in 2000, maybe 2003, but it started coming in 2004, 2005. So we saw the wave of trade shows.
24.
Yeah, we saw the wave of trade shows coming in 2024. And this year really saw the wave of application coming up.
Yeah.
Like when we first went at the start of the year, we met you guys.
Right.
Then there were like 2 or 3 other platforms that also came up.
Yep.
Maybe for you guys who just started this, why do you think that there is this new sort of movement of these marketplaces coming up? You know, why do you think that's the case, or what inspired you guys, and what do you think other people are also doing the same? You know.
Okay, honestly, for me, personally, I'm not a collector, but I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I used to play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I used to play for
How come the
8
platform
years.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Because I mean, they say that Yu-Gi-Oh has lost a lot of popularity in this region. Honestly, it's quite sad. I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards at home.
Okay, like even I feel right, Yu-Gi-Oh lost its traction in Singapore, but in US, Japan is still very much,
with the
very much.
illustrator just passed away 2 years ago.
Very much. But
right,
in
right,
Singapore, the market is same for Duel Masters.
Still got people play lah. Still got people play lah.
Duel Masters,
Vanguard, correct?
We got very rare.
very rare. I mean,
Super rare.
when it launched and what it is now, not much.
My sealed items for Yu-Gi-Oh had to move over to overseas. Cannot move here at all.
Really?
Yeah.
It's impossible to move.
Sorry, sidetrack, but yes,
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
that was sidetrack, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm a player of Yu-Gi-Oh myself. I used to be, and then so it started all when I was having lunch with some of my co-founders. We're just having a casual chat. So they were like they told me they want to make an app, right? So I mean, we're having lunch. Then they were like, initially they suggested something like some services, handyman services listing, but immediately I'm like, oh no, let's not do that. Tell me your passion, tell me your real passion. Right? I say unless we are doing something you're really excited or passionate about, right? It's gonna die down very fast. Like don't tell me you're passionate about listing handyman services. That does not work, right? So I mean, then I found one of my co-founder and his brother are like hardcore collectors. We've been collecting since they were very young, and then they used to live in Hong Kong when they were younger. I think they also won. I think there's a Pikachu. Somewhere there's a Pikachu trophy here.
I think the top one.
Yeah, I think that's the top one. The trophy that they won many years ago. So they are hardcore collectors, and then I myself as a player, then that's how three of us started the idea, and then we went on to build this whole thing. In fact, but to answer your question, I think maybe a lot of people are jumping onto the bandwagon as well. I mean, whether in terms of platforms or shops. I think just this year I've seen probably 50 new TCG shops open or
like us, Gold Nugget Gang, So
no,
what are the culprits?
but I think you've been in the scene for quite a while, right? Because I asked around Dr. Gengar. I mean, he's been around for quite a while.
Reputation precedes you, I guess.
Whether it's a good or bad reputation, we don't know. But
It's still a reputation.
Right, it's their reputation. So I mean, for me personally, I collect some form of actually Chinese painting. In fact, yeah. I mean, it might sound a bit like a weird, for someone my age to actually Chinese painting and some this kind of stuff. So to me, actually, this whole thing about collecting Pokemon cards, actually, it is a form of art that people collect.
Yes,
right?
yes, it is.
Yeah, because for me, I mean, I had the opportunity to collect some form of Chinese art because some of my friends actually own art galleries, so it was easy for me to access that kind of thing, because I would feel that most people wouldn't suddenly go into an art gallery and say, I want that piece kind of thing. There's a kind of barrier, right? The entry kind of thing. It's just because they are my friends kind of thing. So Pokemon art is very different, because if you see a piece of Pikachu that's $5,000, it's so rare, it's well graded, a great pen, everybody can relate to it, and then okay, I want this, $5,000. I will spend $5,000. It's like a same feeling, like buying a piece of art that you really like, right? I mean, maybe I will paint a example is that actually, I think last year. There was a lot of collaboration, and Tiffany and Co came out with a Pikachu necklace that I think cost 60 or 70 grand. Right. Yeah. So can you imagine your mom or my mom would buy that and wear that last time? No, right? But it's because people of our generation now we are grown up, and then some of us have money to spend. People of our generation or slightly older will actually spend that money to wear that and go Pikachu, right? You can't imagine your mom wearing that. So I feel like it's a shift in all these kind of taste and a shift of the the movement of the pop culture that actually is contributing to this rise of the whether it be TCG shops or some platforms that are trying to come out as marketplaces.
I think we grew up with it, isn't it?
Right.
Our era, we have collected them. Now we want to document them. So there's need for documentation.
And all these big names are creating something that it's okay. I mean, it's opportunity cost also, right? I mean, they already know Pokemon as one of the biggest IPs out there. Why not create I'm pretty sure, Rolex and whatever are planning to do some, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Unlikely lah,
Unlikely, but we will never know, right? Like this kind of big names suddenly knowing that, hey, this is very hot now. Those just suddenly create something.
Collab,
Audemars Piguet, the watch brand, has done Marvel lah. So they got Black Panther Audemars.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
limited edition lah.
But I think mostly the Japanese company does it, like Seiko,
Seiko maybe.
Casio.
The thing is, we'll never know. But the like, if a jewelry can do that,
Right.
a jeweler can do that, then why not watch?
Exactly.
A Chinese painting of a Pikachu. That will be.
Yes, we won't go into the Chinese prices today.
Yeah.
Chinese prices,
That's another whole ballgame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, I mean, just based on what you said just now, I think the idea of pricing and having a passion and seeing that it's an opportunity cost. Where do you see TCGUnite in the next 5 years? Like, what's the goal? What's the objective? What's the end goal for you guys? So you think that we've succeeded in this?
I mean, for me, the next 5 years, maybe next 5 years, I wouldn't be able to say exactly what we're doing the next 5 years, but exactly in the next 1 or 2 years, we'll actually be expanding into Japan. So starting, from the end of this year, most likely we will start to have a small office there.
Okay.
So we are trying to actually gather more shops, onto our platform, to be offering products, because Japanese products, honestly, is domestic supply but international demand. So everywhere else, people want all these Japanese products, and then of course, Japanese shops and all this, because they have the barrier to actually accessing the global market and Southeast Asia market. So what we aim to provide is to help them sell out of their country. So this one has already been in the works. So legal documents, all this were actually done already. So I mean, we're just looking to go into.
Well, there is a platform there which I occasionally use. Is the Cardova,
Right.
which is an auction house.
Right.
But their prices are not up. They don't base off United States.
Right.
So they play their own ball game. They have
Right.
their own pricing. So if you're gonna eat into this very niche market, or rather the unique market in Japan, right? Would you see any challenge there? Like because they play by their own rules there,
Right.
pretty much most of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
The stores also play by their own rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
How are you gonna bridge that their own rule and entice them to join onto your system?
I mean, one thing is definitely we'll do like a lot of localization, like everything dashboard, everything will be in Japanese itself. And then secondly, I can't say too much about what
Yeah,
I mean, we have
but y'all got a solution for.
we have strong partners there.
Okay.
So
So there is something coming up, lah. Basically.
we have collaboration and
Because actually, the thing that I think the conversation that we're having is it really boils down to this idea of willing buyer, willing seller.
Right.
Because in Japan market, maybe about a year ago, prices were way below USD eBay pricing. Like I could go Japan,
Clean sweep.
I could not say clean sweep lah, but you
Buy
could
a lot of
see a lot of
things.
things were packed very closely to eBay. So it's like they were eBay, then maybe got 10%, or you got send them discounts, then you go under eBay like maybe
Right.
10 to 20%. But like in the past 1 year, right, things have just shot up crazy. Like now everything's above eBay last sold by a good 10-20%.
Right.
So it's a very interesting sort of setup where the Japan market shifted, because I think part of it is also because there was a lot of YouTubers that went to Japan, and they really bumped the whole they really pushed the whole like, oh, go Japan, buy,
I mean, they saw opportunity there, right? So
Yeah.
it's like opportunity cost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's everything.
So
Like, what is
everybody's-
it? Willing buyer, willing seller, willing buyer.
So I mean, I think moving on to this pricing thing, Singapore is one of the markets that, of course, we start off with, right? And then you've also started to promote within the rest of the Southeast Asian countries as well, right? Or that's the plan that you're moving forward
actually,
down
now
the line,
we've
is
already
it?
promoted in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia itself. So actually, our app is open to buyers from these three regions. Just that for us now, on the selling side, we are only onboarding Singapore and Japanese stores.
Okay.
for now. Because I mean, for us, credibility and reliability is very important. We don't just want to, I mean, ultimately, in the subsequent phases, we open up to individual sellers, like collectors for yourselves. But it's just that we don't want to open the floodgates as of now. It's just like we're trying to bring in reliable sources first.
Yeah. Because I mean, the reason why I asked that is because Okay, globalization allows us to access more brands,
Yeah.
more platforms. Like now we can use Cordova, we use Mercari, Bai,
ALT,
whatever it is, all these
Right.
kind of things. I mean, and the Singapore dollar is quite a lot stronger than the rest
Yes,
of the other
yes,
countries,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
a booster pack here is what, let's say $7. Malaysia is, I mean, if it's about 15, 18 ringgit, if I'm not wrong, but dollar to dollar, it's quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Do you think that these things, like, different markets, do they, I mean, based on just the data that you've seen, or maybe you've spoken to different people, do you think that the different countries sort of like look for different things, or they're interested in different types of products, or is there a difference in terms of what people are buying based on the countries, after you've spoken to some of your different partners or potential clients?
I think as of now, some of them just tell me like it's just like a funny story. They would say that in Japan they like waifu cards, but then in US they like stronger looking Pokemon like Charizard kind of thing. Yeah, but I think actually for Singapore, I think they just want everything that they can get their
it's
hands
true,
on.
it's true,
Honestly,
it's
it's like
true.
some
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
collecting frenzy. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this one's nice, I want it. That one is nice, I want it, kind of thing.
And also intense, like most
Yeah,
people want
most of them
intense, like,
intense. That's another conversation that time we had also.
Yeah.
Singapore collectors, they only want tens and
Yeah.
nothing more.
We are too perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything must be number one.
I guess it's a very interesting model, because from where I see, I think these platforms now do give stores a little bit more access. Like, for example, we recently took some of the things that we weren't able to move in the local market, and we say that we'll put it on the eBay platforms through SCC, which is actually not far from here also, if I'm not wrong, their office. So we're gonna see how they perform, but
Right.
I think some of the things that really don't necessarily move, then maybe those are options, which your platform eventually, hopefully, will be able to do that as well, right? So where we have more potential customers, both in Japan as well as maybe US or even some of the other Southeast Asian countries.
Right.
Right, yeah.
I mean, ultimately, what we want to do is to facilitate the trading cross-border as well. Because, I mean, the whole point of trading card games is to actually for cards to be moving around.
It's
kind of thing.
the trade thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought because the topic of pricing is always going to be very, it's going to be ambiguous. But now
Right.
it's like there's also another Reddit post recently that was complaining about how at cons, whatever convention or trade show or whatever, they were just noticing that prices are typically like over 20% of market. Then, and then they were arguing like, a vendor needs to have some markup so that they can cover their own costs. We also had some comments on our
Pricing,
TikTok as well, because they were saying that why they charge so expensive, the markup that it covers their 1 day rental fee, blah blah. So the customers were sort of saying like why prices are going up nowadays. Do you think that, with more of these platforms and giving people more options to buy, that on the consumer side, there will be better, they will have more better pricing for them down the line? Or you think that it will drive prices up from your perspective?
Actually, for us as a platform, the funny thing is that, we have seen that, when some shops, they try to list on platforms, they generally try to drive up the prices by quite a lot, actually. It can be quite significant. But then the thing is that I'm not too sure maybe for whether it makes sense in terms of if you talk about going to cons, then some of them are not actual businesses, they're like individual vendors. Then for them it's like this is something that I definitely have to make back on the spot or something like that. Because some stores, they are not so hard about it. They're like I just want to bring some traffic to my store, let people know more about me, so long I can break even, I'm fine. Some shops are like that. So I think the mindset is quite different, can be different between different entities itself, right? But as for us, I think the overall mission is that once we bring on individual sellers as well, the price will become a bit more competitive. Not to say that everybody will always still try to price overprice things and stuff like that.
Actually, I have a question that will go to our to Santosh and Javier, which is, Singaporeans quite entrepreneurial, right? We're always trying to figure out where's our next new income or new hype or new source. So I mean, you touched on that, where there are legitimized official businesses that have set up. They set up a brick and mortar, or they set up maybe a online store presence, and there's the individual sellers.
Right.
Do you think, I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing, but from your perspectives as collectors yourselves, do you think that the individual number, let's say we have like 50% are individual sellers nowadays, the other 50% are shops, right? Do you think that number should change, or you think that more people will come into the hobby as sellers down the line? As you know, you can be on the shop, and then from your perspective.
Okay, I mean, we saw the number of collectors coming into the scene in the past 2 years, because the Pokemon started getting the hype and everything. So actually, if you think about it, private sellers used to be much lesser. It used to be more shops, right? But then now, firstly, everybody is trying to be a shop, right? There are a lot more shops, like what you said, a lot more shops. And then there are some people who just came to the hobby, right? Thinking it's, something they can get cash from, easy cash and everything. Thinking it's easy cash, right? Then realize they are stuck with a lot of this. So to answer your question, do I see that number going down or up? Until like a couple of episodes ago when we say the bubble, right? Until we see the bubble going to burst or whatever, we still see the numbers going up in terms of the private or the sellers that sells during trade shows, to be increased or increasing. Until then, we just have to see this law. That's my own purview, right? Right.
I think from the numbers will keep increasing. But whether the 50% will swing to one side or the other, I don't think it will swing that much. Because to be honest, in Singapore, everybody wants to be their own boss.
Yeah.
Right? You want to find a way to sustain yourself and then do something you like. Collecting for myself, I won't lie, I will sell when the price is right too, right? So I collect whatever I want, then whenever the price is correct, I want to sell. But the problem here is that I feel that for us as a collector, we always want to have a way to track everything we have and then see what they're worth, whether the portfolio is going up. And then even though his portfolio has gone up, it's like, oh wow, maybe I can earn some money here and then clear and wait for the bubble to burst. And when the bubble bursts, the profit I earn, I buy another, buy
something
more back,
else,
right? It's just to FOMO and get it back at a lower price. But looking at the Singapore situation right now, I think there'll be more collectors coming in.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
because this is as we enter the digital age, a lot of kids are looking at handphones. This is probably one way for all of us to get the kids away from the handphone, physical items. So I think there'll be more collectors coming in, but whether they are educated on how this whole thing scenario is and how complicated it can be, having maybe more search platforms or pricing platforms could give a sense of information to us, like, when we buy, we better buy correctly. Don't get cheated, or rather, if the price is high, you have to understand that from like our podcast, hopefully we can educate people that the pricing sometimes is for negotiation purposes.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it's not all out to kill everybody.
Yeah,
right. We just want to chit chat, get the price right, everybody happy. We've released the item.
I mean, that's where the bartering comes in, right?
Yeah,
like
there's always a
better deal. For either party, right?
But perhaps maybe the store will drop in percentage over time, because not every business is a successful business.
Correct.
Right?
So that's why over time, like there's confirmed there will be a drop in both numbers. But if you will see, even the numbers is usually there will be more shops than individual individual sellers, right? Because the shops, they have some ways of getting their stocks, getting their how to sell stuff and everything. But a lot of the true collectors, there is only that many.
Yeah, there's not that many. You must have a team for your collection anyway.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's impossible to collect. You can't collect everything.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can be collecting everything, if you got all the money in the world,
I wish, right? The total 10 million.
yeah. But the thing is, how many of them are like that? Okay, maybe we don't know lah, right? Maybe one of you watchers are out there thinking is one of the all-time collector, collect everything on. So we will never know until we meet them, right?
Yeah, but I think from the past few trade shows that we have been to, there are more and more younger collectors coming
Yes.
in. Like
Right,
parents
right.
bring their kids along,
Yeah.
and then they want to get them engaged in this hobby where they understand what they're doing. Like you buy something, you understand the concept. When you buy it, you're limited by choice.
Yes.
So maybe over time, more and more individual collectors appear. Then the store will go down due to maybe rental being killing off all of us.
it could be a lot of reasonings lah. But one of the numbers will go up and down lah. Cannot be 50. I don't think it's a 50-50. It's just
more of a 50 or more
It's just a
of
starting
a,
number.
Yeah, it's just a
Right?
it's quantified, right? But I don't think it will be a 50. It's one will be up, one will be down.
Yeah, because there's only so many products in the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a finite number of cards in the world, right? And if everybody's a reseller and everybody's a store, it will definitely not everybody will be able to survive
Right,
the buying and selling.
Correct.
Because you're eating newcomers. Only, right?
Yeah. So I mean, the reason why I asked that is because I think we talked about pricing quite a bit, and then we've sort of looked at all these different things, and I think it's a very important aspect because who is buying and selling? I'm not. There's nothing against individual sellers because I started as an individual seller, right?
yeah.
I was just collecting my Gengas, then one day I just collected other things, and I realized I spent too much money on other things. I need to sell my other things, right?
Yeah.
Then I suddenly realized, it is nice. It's buy. Then it's like I have suddenly $10,000 worth of things that I need to sell, or they take up too much space in my house. And I just then later on, and then I want to. I think I've shared with you. There's multiple times where I say I'm gonna quit selling and I just want to give up selling. I'm just gonna keep my Gengas. Then the next day you're like, hey Nick, how come you bought another batch?
That's a normal thing for any collector. Like I'm going
yeah.
to stop buying stuff already. Next one, I buy this already.
Yeah.
Kind of thing is normal.
Then because I remember quite clearly a few conversations I had with Javier, and I think it was early 2025. I was like, this is my last trade show. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna quit already. Okay, bye bye everybody. See you when the next Gengar piece comes out. Then May 2025 comes. I've opened a shop. Then I'm like, the shop is up selling something.
That's
Then
what
it's
we
like,
always say.
yeah, so
I'm ready to quit.
It's a very interesting dynamic lah, because you sort of try and leave, but it sort of pull you in. So there's nothing against individual sellers or shops. I think everybody's got their own journey.
Yeah.
But there are times I think for pricing wise, whether international, I think I noticed the US market is okay. They see the last sold, right? Then they will see. Usually, they would typically sell under market rate, just based on the YouTube videos I see lah. Maybe it's just what we've seen lah. But the YouTube, everybody's like in US, the cons is okay. Everything is this rate.
Right.
Then last sold is this two. Then I usually go between these two.
Yes.
Then but Singapore, if I check prices, I mean we price also sometimes is. We price because we know people are going to negotiate. So I will let's say price a bit higher, and then after that I lower. And if it's more liquid, let's say it's a very common card. Let's say it's a Zat, a common card, Then everybody has a sell. Let's say a Moonbrion, everybody's selling Moonbrion. I cannot definitely sell the Moonbrion at 120% market. So I have to sell lower lah. But let's say it's a very, very, very low pop card, then sometimes it gives me a bit more reasoning to say that I'll sell a little bit higher lah. Because you also cannot get the highest now on eBay is
limit, right?
Then there's another view on that also. Some people they'll mark up the price because in eBay if you buy you need to pay shipping,
10% GST
and everything. So this is actually cheaper than that. I ever heard that before also.
That's my logic also. So you should be blaming me lah.
No.
Very common.
But it's very common. That's why I say it's very common. Like if you do multiple trade shows, you will hear this very often, right? Because you see eBay and then there's shipping and then GST and everything. if you include all this will be cheaper than you getting it from the source itself.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons why people who ask the price, hey, why is it so much expensive? Because sometimes we cater those in just to because you are getting it there and then, right? Instead of like maybe waiting for a week or whatever, So all these are into the calculation, I guess, for us.
So I have a question for you, Mango Derek. This is more on trying to see what happens if you were to bring in when you bring in individual sellers.
Right.
Will you think that the price? Because right now you're dealing with all the more reputable sources with backing, those like
Registered,
listed
businesses,
businesses, right? They have their price list that they are agreed upon.
Right.
But once you bring in individual sellers, do you think the market price will go down, or would they use your references that on your retail to bump up the prices?
Actually, I feel like the prices will actually go down, in fact, because there's more competition. And then if imagine you're selling a similar card as me, then and then maybe Santosh comes in with another similar card. I feel like as we have more and more of these platforms, prices will be a bit more competitive. Because I think maybe I have a quick question here for three of you is that would you ever sell a card at a lower price than you acquired the card at?
I actually sell all my cards below the price that I acquired.
I mean,
Wow, okay, that's really rare because a lot of people, right? I think, especially in the Singapore scene, right, they would never do that. Sometimes they just say, no, this card I bought at this price, although it's like almost an all-time high. Just a little bit, the price has already dropped,
Okay.
but they would never let go.
Let me clarify. Like when I got the cards, they were cheap, right? And then I kept it for a while.
Okay.
Because as a collector, I keep them. But when the price goes up, I see the price. Let's say it's $2,000 now.
Okay.
I'm willing to clear at 1.8, 1.7.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the reason I clear at a lower price is not because I am trying to earn the flip or quickly try to clear
Right.
money, but I want to buy something else already. There's something else I want to revamp my collection. Therefore, I cash out to use.
I
There's
think
no-
that's the spirit of collecting. Actually, I would really I admire that honestly because not a lot of people say I can let go at a below market price or below at a price that I actually bought it for.
Correct.
But then it comes to term with yourself, right?
Correct.
Whether you're willing to
It's
let
your
go.
own answering. You need to answer yourself. Whether am I going to sell this as X amount of money times whatever you bought it for?
Right.
So like it's really up to you. But generally, like if you collect something for a very long period of time, like what he said, you bought it at a cheaper price, right? So now the market it has escalated so much, right? It increased so much and everything. For you to ask for the exact same price, I mean, it's whether you want to let it go or not, lah. Like, and for some
Right.
people, they already have something in mind to buy, right? And they don't need that much of cash,
Right.
As long they kind of like, like for example, if I bought this for 400 and I can, the current price is maybe 800, for example, I can sell it at 600. With the 600, I can buy something else.
Yeah.
Because you already cover your thing. But there are some people, which I've seen also, and sometimes I also do that. Like you bought this for 400, for
Right,
example,
right,
same thing, 400. But then the current market now is 350, for example. Either you keep or you sell, it's up to you, lah, right?
Right,
Whether you want to get something else that's more liquid or whatever. Because sometimes not everything people want,
Definitely.
right? So correct buyer, correct seller kind of thing, lah, right?
Right.
So it's really situation basis, but the mentality is correct, lah. Which is you buy and then you got a certain thing that you are in plan to buying.
You cash out.
Cash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually, I will give you one scenario. Krishna, if you're watching, this is for you. So we had a customer yesterday actually come to the store. So now you got the V3
Chinese
Chinese pack,
pack.
right?
Right.
So this guy, he's very lucky lah. Whenever he opens pack, he will always get the good hits one. So his blood is blessed lah. But anyway, I don't know lah. Don't know which god he prayed to lah. But anyway. He opened one box, it was a damaged box. He opened the box. I'm very tilted that I didn't open the box myself, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah,
don't
it happens.
jelly.
No,
Don't
the
don't
thing
jealous,
is,
don't
this kind
jealous.
of thing,
Yeah.
because I also run a shop,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah.
happens. But the thing is, you think about it like, okay, like, at least it goes to one of my customers.
Yeah,
you know, kind of thing.
So the scenario that you all been talking about here is very similar to him because that he when he put the card, the card last sold on eBay is 2.4K to 2.8K USD. Right? But to him is that I sell it at 1.8 Sing, which is about maybe which is about half. It's about actually about half market rate. It's about half market rate.
Almost.
But it's the easiest, the fastest that he was going to cash out, because on the day somebody's going to buy it for him.
Right.
He didn't say that it must have at market rate.
Right.
Locally, we've seen, when I was just researching, locally Facebook people were trying to sell 2K Sing. Nobody was buying and nobody's buying it. So and then people were like I think people were wanting like 1.8, which was cheaper than market rate by half. But to him is, I just cash out lah. I can take that 1.8,
Do something.
and then I can buy other things.
Yeah.
I can buy more things, and I can do that. I don't need to hold the item because I don't really want it for my personal collection. I really ripped it, I opened it, I sold it. So I think for a lot of collectors, I think if you have that mindset, I think that's quite okay. You can cash out, you can take the items that you want. Some that are a little bit more insistent to sell at those higher that at a certain rate, I think they just have to be patient whether the price really shoots up to crazy amounts, or they will just have to hold on their own
I mean, like talking about all this pricing and everything, like when a set comes out, usually the cards are highly priced because everybody's going after, everybody wants it. So that's why even in shops, right, I'm pretty sure you guys do the same thing, right? Like we don't buy in the singles like within that 1 week. For me at least lah.
Yeah.
For Butter Trade we don't do that lah, right? We'll wait until like everything more settled down. Probably when the English set comes in, then only we'll buy the Japanese thing. It really depends. Like,
or when the next Japanese set comes out, they can buy the previous one.
Yeah, something like that. Because the prices are more stabilized already compared to today come out, tomorrow sell. Then the price is like extreme height, kind of thing. Because everybody wants it.
Yeah, but the situation of the yesterday was there were some questions that he asked me as for my own opinion, right? What would I do with that card? I look at it and say, you maxed out your luck already, right? You spend the amount, you hit the biggest, almost
$190.
exactly. He 10x the card already, right? I look at it, I tell him like, if me, I have something I want to buy. I'm going to cash out now. 1.8 is a good cash. I can buy anything else I want for 1.8.
Or maybe multiple or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or maybe I told you to look deep down inside. Like, you have nothing you're looking for right now.
Hold the cash.
Hold the cash, Krishna. Hold the cash. Cash is king. Alright.
Hold the cash.
But he also asked me another question. Like, do you think this is gonna be reprinted? I was like, oh, God knows who's gonna reprint anything. But like what Santosh said, you wait for the calm to go over.
Yeah.
Then you buy back. But as for him, if he hit it on the spot, the price sounds good.
Yeah.
You clear the price already.
Right.
Yeah. There's no point holding on to something that you don't want to hold. Right. Don't hold it just for the sake of like say I'm gonna earn 10% more tomorrow. 15% more tomorrow. What if it crashed 20%?
Exactly. Like,
You're gonna
unless you are so lucky, right, getting a second copy, then sure, you keep the first copy and then sell the second copy because,
he might get another copy.
Because, I mean, okay, so
the stocks you have left, right? Yeah.
So talking about this second copy or whatever, when TF came about, right, then I opened a Demigod pack thing.
Oh, yeah.
The Umbreon, right? Then... Yeah, I got an Umbreon. So then after that, like couple of weeks later, I opened another one. I got another Umbreon. Then I'm like, oh, okay. I don't need an Umbreon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really collect. I used to collect Umbreon, but I stopped collecting Umbreon. So I'm like, oh, okay, I just sell. Yeah.
I
So
think
at that period of time, the price was high.
Yeah.
Right? So whether you want to sell it or not, it's up to you. So,
I think one thing that a lot of collectors cannot let go is that when the price used to be high, like let's say the Terrestrial Festival Umbreon, I think market highest peak was maybe what, 800 raw? 800 raw, yeah. Now it's about 300 ma.
Yeah, about 3.
So there are a lot of people that maybe bought at above 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they just like, I just cannot let go. Like
You're losing money.
Yeah. But
losing money, yes.
I think you just have to maybe realize that $300 I realize that loss now, and I don't do the same thing in the next batch lah, right?
Tuition fee lor.
Yeah. You just pay as a tuition fee, so you don't learn. But I mean, if you really like it, then just hold it. You don't have to
Exactly.
sort of sell it.
Exactly.
But I think from a financial perspective, not financial advice, disclaimer, is that there may be some points in your collection where you think, I just let it go. Let's cash. Because you taking out the cash, you can go and do other things.
Correct.
You can go and buy something else, you can buy a new box, you can buy that. I mean, for the store, we also, like just say, we took some of the things that we know is not going to move. We just let it go to the US eBay and then see what price comes back. Whatever price comes back, we will have sold. Maybe it sells at market, maybe it sells under market.
Yeah.
But we know
But
that
it's out already, right?
it's out. Then I can use the cash to maybe go and buy new
Correct,
inventory or new stock. I think we just have to be a bit more accepting to the fact that sometimes you just have to take a few small L's
Yeah.
and then learn from those L's and then move forward.
Correct. Yes.
Because Singapore market at the end is very small, right? You're gonna have people want to follow the trend all the time. You don't have massive amount of
Transactions.
diversified collectors. Like how many collectors here are in Singapore are collecting signature cards? How many are collecting championship cards? How many people are collecting just Umbreon alone? Not that many.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's impossible to move everything here. You got something, you follow the trend, you're gonna get burned sometimes.
Yep.
Right.
But the fact that if there is platforms like TCG, whatever you're setting up, right, that allows you to have access your collection to somebody else who's more willing to buy overseas. There's a buyer there who's willing to pay the money. This will bridge that gap, which will clear our little small red dot to somewhere else and spread around whatever collection we have, right? So we just have to learn that there are solutions. There's always solutions. You just have to keep up to date with what people are setting up for in the market.
But perhaps maybe one point I would like to share is, maybe I will go back to my own journey of collecting art pieces because, when I first asked my friend, who owns the art gallery, so I was interested in some of the pieces that he had. So I asked him, which one is, more worth it for me to collect? His first words to me was like, buy something that you actually like because you're gonna look at it every day. You're gonna look at it every day, right? Don't buy something just because you feel like it'll become expensive one day or whatever. Buy something you really like, then because you're gonna look at it every day. So I would say, perhaps collecting cards and all is should also be in this manner as well.
That's supposed to be the ultimate goal, right? Like you collect something that you like or you buy something you like. But then we all know that's not what the scene is now, lah.
No, right.
The scene is not like as such, lah, right?
But I think if the first question in your mind, right, when you see the thing is not, hey, the picture is nice.
Yeah.
And if you think that, oh my god, that is what everybody is buying, forget it. To move on. This is not something you're supposed to buy. There's a chance you have a learning curve issue.
Yeah.
So might as well get really something you can get attached to, right? Like what you say, the looks of it is more important right now rather than the pricing.
Yeah.
Like Nicholas collects a lot of Gengar, right?
Yes.
Because he likes.
If Gengar market tomorrow crash, please sell your Gengars to me. I will happily buy. I'll pay. Me and Santosh will buy all the Gengars at market rate. The new drop deep to market rate. Cash out your Gengars to us.
Only when the price drops.
If price high don't find me, I will buy. Only when price drop.
Money to buy.
So I'm waiting for all the Masaki Gengars to drop to 10% of what it is now. But I mean, okay, just to close off, I think we covered quite a bit about the pricing and things like that. I mean, for TCGUnite and for the platforms like yourself, what is one selling point that you want to promote and really tell to your potential users that are going to come onto the platform? Like, what's something that you might like to encourage and tell them through this particular platform?
Okay, I would say maybe two really unique selling points that we have now is that we have first and foremost, I say, we have a handcrafted database of English and Japanese cards. And then Japanese cards, you'll be able to find them in the original data, like, Japanese play info data and stuff like that. Then that's for the collection side. Then the second part about the marketplace, I would say that, we are fully integrated, meaning that, for yourself, Gold Nugget Gang. So currently we have DHL already integrated. So if let's say Santosh pays for something, actually you just have to select the shipping pickup time on the app itself. You don't have to go out of the app. You just choose tomorrow 1 p.m. The guy will come and pick it up from you, send straight to Santosh.
They will have to pack from. I have to pack.
Yeah, you just have to pack. But you don't have to.
I thought you can pack for me. Maybe he can pack for me. Mango, come to the shop and help me pack. Extra service.
Personal service.
Extra service. Yeah.
So I think by the time this video is released as well, we also have a SingPost integrated. So it's a much economical option as well, right? So
So they can also the SingPost, the mailman will come and pick up.
Or you can choose to drop off at the post office as
post
well.
box opposite our shop has a mailbox, so you can post it. Yeah. So that's good. I mean,
And one more point I would like to touch on is we actually have a dispute resolution system. For example, when you buy something, actually, we do not release the funds to the seller immediately. So, in case you find that,
not genuine item, right?
Good.
You have a lot to say about this.
No, I shall not say today.
So I mean, example, Nicholas, for example, he bought something from Javier and then he finds that, there's an issue with it. He can actually chat with Javier first. And then, if there's an issue, then you can choose partial refund or, you want to do free refund. So we have all these presets options inside. And if you cannot come to a resolution, then, TCGUnite will come in as a mediator and try to, solve the issue. So
have you had any cases of this so far?
So far, no. I mean, there are only, people who have bought something, but I think one of our seller has also sold out on another platform, so we just have to refund. We just have to refund that. I mean, dispute not really yet. I mean, hopefully not, right?
Yeah. But do you think? I mean, let's say something like this happens. What are the what's the timeline on something that would how long would for this to resolve?
So for us, we aim to for example, we have guidelines and also SOPs to say that if you find that something is wrong with your card, please report it or raise a dispute immediately through the app. You can just press raise a dispute once you receive your card, and then immediately this resolution, so-called this dispute process will start, and then we aim to resolve all disputes within 14 days, definitely.
But they cannot sort of come in after, let's say, 1 month and say that.
No such thing. I mean, because if you buy something, you receive something, because our standard guidelines is you have to report. A lot of things will actually fall within the 72 hours. I mean, if you receive a card, right, then if there's some issues with it, maybe it's not authentic or it's damaged, not according to description, the condition, you should report it immediately. I mean, there's no reason for you to wait 3 days, 4 days, right? I mean, technically, it does not make sense. You just have to go onto our app, press a button, raise a dispute. At least then this whole process starts, right?
That is true.
But I mean, there are instances where you buy something but you are not in town.
Definitely.
So I mean, 72 hours. By 72 hours, can you be in town to check your card and put a dispute? That's another thing. So if such a event were to happen, then what's your Is there going to be another solution to
case
that?
by case, right?
So
we are
case by case basis, right? I mean, case by case, because most of the time is DHL, you have to be there in person to receive.
Yeah, correct. The signaturing, right?
Yeah, speed post. We're using SingPost. You also have to receive, unless you are receiving it in your letterbox. I mean, we have a different delivery option.
But something for you to just think about, because silk products also get sold on your platform, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because silk products, in our Singapore setting, a lot of us keep the silk product.
Yes.
So it's hard to check whether is it authentic or not.
Correct.
Without
correct.
you don't want to open it.
Correct.
So the dispute will come in way later. But that's something for you to think
Right.
about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I mean, really to build credibility, that's why we're only allowing registered businesses onto our platform first. But subsequently, in the next few weeks, we will be allowing individual sellers, but only individual sellers that we select. Individual sellers that we know on a personal basis first. Yeah.
Then you were saying, you will be holding on to the seller's cash or the buyer's cash and everything. So how long later will the cash be, given up?
So with after you receive your items, right? I mean, as a buyer, same as you using any other e-commerce apps. Like, you have to actually say that, I received this without
Correct.
issues. Once the buyer selects that, then you actually be automatically released. Then same, we also have a period whereby I think it's also like 5 days. If you have already, item has been marked received by the delivery service, but within 5 days, you don't say that I've received or anything. Then once this period has passed, we also have to release the money to the seller.
Okay.
Because it's not fair, because,
Right.
a lot of things we can't really let it roll over, because especially, talk about, you receive a card with issue, you have to report it immediately. You can't come back to me 1 month. What if you are actually swapping the card? That wouldn't do in our industry. Doesn't make sense. So a lot of things for us is really falls within the 72 or either 5 days period.
I asked that question is because viewers would want to know that also.
Right.
So all this information, some people will say, oh, I didn't know about this and everything. So when information is spread out there, then people will know, oh, okay, so it's 72 hours, 5 days, nothing to be very ambiguous about.
Right. Thank you for the very good question.
Yeah, it's just people who want to know
Well, it's time to come for his launch event then. Then get all your FAQs solved and problem of things that you want to know.
Or you want to get his signature, photograph.
That's true.
So we've covered quite a bit. I think the pricing topic is something that I don't think TCGUnite or any of our stores can solve lah. But I do think that having more access to information, more platforms, giving people free choice to sort of use different platforms. It's not saying that TCGUnite is the one all and be all and it's going to replace eBay or things like that. But I do think that having more platforms is good because people have more options to choose. Whether somebody wants more integration with like DHL or more access to certain shops overseas. I think that's something that's good for the market. I think is once more information is being shared. You're also going to be showcasing different shops as well. So I think that's a good thing, and I think that's a good way to sort of segue to the end of the episode. But I think thanks very much for everybody for watching and listening, and do come on down to the event by TCGUnite. We'll have the more details in the description, and then thank you very much for watching the episode today. All right, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.